I am capable of facing my fears and anxieties. We all have fears and anxieties. That's just part of life. Things happen and we develop fears for certain things, or we get a lot of anxiety uh, regarding certain situation. So I want to tell you more about my experience with that. My name is Talonda, and I'm here to help you with your personal growth journey as you try to attain that peaceful, calm, joyful type of life that you've always wanted. Sometimes there are things we have to maneuver through to get there, but you can get there. And I want you to know that it is definitely within your grasp. And so I do content to help people with that. And I use my personal life stories or I share about different situations or events or life experiences that I've been through. I share on my uh, YouTube channel so you can see the type of life that I enjoy having as a result of doing what I needed to do. So I want to get more into the topic. Um, I grew up with fear, or I would say not so much fear, anxiety, which anxiety is like a form of fear, right? So in my life, I always dealt with anxiety because I was put in situations by my parents that made me feel like I had to compensate um, for their lack of parenting or their irresponsibility. Uh, I love my mother. My mother was my world, but there were. I came during a time in her life where she wasn't really ready for me yet. She was really young, just finishing high school or just graduated from high school, was working towards a prominent career in modeling. And here she pops up pregnant with me. And of course, I know that wasn't my fault, but hey, I'm here. And now you have to look at me every day and figure out what to do and take care of me. And then my father was uh, not really in my life, still running the streets, just not really being the type of father figure that I needed to give me that security that I need to thrive in life. They were young and just still trying to live their lives. I don't fault them for it because I forgive them, and that's just what they knew at the time. It was hard growing up, you know, because I felt like you should have been more focused on me. You should have been more, concerned about my needs. But instead, you were busy doing this and that, and I just kind of was just here. So I felt that in my life. And so, uh, as a result of that, I became a person who always had anxiety, always worrying, am I going to, get what I need each day? Because my parents weren't always the type who were focused on my needs or making sure I had everything together before they took care of themselves. It was reverse, you know. And so, not to say that you should not, I'm not talking about taking care of yourself first, that you can take care of others and that kind of thing. Not that. I'm talking about um, living a life of, uh, I would say, pleasure and doing things that kept you from focusing on your responsibilities like that. You know the difference between a dedicated parent versus a parent who still lacks the maturity and needs some more time to grow before they can really show up as a real parent. So I had number two, the ones that lacked the maturity. And so I had to kind of grow up early, and I had to step up and pay attention and be aware of things that as a child I should not have. And so I developed a lot of anxieties. What if this happened? What if that happened? Blah, 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 blah. And I ended up becoming an adult who struggled really badly with very severe anxiety. A lot of my family members didn't know because I didn't know what was going on with myself. And I didn't really get help for it or with it until I started noticing things in my life or things started happening and I needed answers. And so I had to go to the mental health professionals to seek help for whatever I was going through. I didn't know what it was. And people used to always say, "Oh, you're always worrying." But I just figured I just worry all the time. I could fix that. I never could. I used to not understand why. People thought I could just turn it on and off, and I said, I can't. It's just a part of me. It's because anxiety is like living in a state of constant worry all the time. There's a difference between just worrying about this or that and then moving on. Anxiety is that is your life. You worry all the time. That is who you are. It becomes a part of you. Everything you do, everything is just a constant state of worry. It's chronic. So some people don't notice the difference or don't know the difference. That is the difference. And so I was a person who worried about everything. And until I was able to notice something was wrong in my life and get help. And now I can happily say that I no longer have those struggles. Is anxiety still a part of me? Yes. But I have, I have medications, I have lifestyle changes, I've had therapy. You can get help for it. But the first step you need to take is to acknowledge, you know what, something's not right. I need help. Let me seek out help. And there are people out there that can help you. But a lot of people, maybe they're too embarrassed. I don't know. It could be because very much so, especially in certain communities, it is not seen as a positive thing, which is not positive to deal with anxiety. But what I'm saying is people are shamed, feeling shamed for having certain mental health conditions, and it should not be. We all are human, and different things happen to us. We all have different reasons for why this happens with us versus that. It's just life. But unfortunately, we're also people who have been raised in systems or situations or households or families that made us feel like we should feel shamed for something that we really can't control or, we can't help. And so um, I wanted to talk about that. You have to take the first step to really dealing with anxiety or fears. And you have to admit, you know what, there's something not right. I'm really feeling a lot of anxiety about this. Maybe I ought to get help. You never know. You're running around thinking that you can do it on your own and you can take care of it when maybe you can't. Maybe you really do have an issue that's beyond just you trying to help or your friends or family. Maybe it's something that you need professional help for you know so I would say the first step is to just the first step, see if there's something beyond just normal life or normal remedy, typical normal home remedy, I guess they would say, to helping you with the situation. See if maybe you need a little extra help, and then go from there. And then that will help you to really start to overcome that. A lot of it is a mental shift, a mental, it's in your mind. One of the things I thought about as I went through my change is I learned that, you know, it's okay. Like, what's the worst that could happen? Okay. This is the worst thing that could happen. Okay. So I deal with it. Okay. How would I handle the worst thing that could happen? Okay. I would do this. And then I realized, okay, it's not so bad. Is even if the worst thing happened, I'm still able to figure out what to do. I'm still in control. I still can handle it. I still know the steps I can take to improve the situation, to correct the situation, whatever you want to call it. It's okay. Life is never um as a lot of times, I won't say never, but in most cases or many cases that I've experienced, life is not necessarily as dramatic as I make it out to be. I am the type who naturally will make mountains out of molehills. I will. But um, I have learned different strategies to kind of calm myself down and really, really critically think myself through. I have to think, I have to like talk myself down. For example, something could be bothering me and I know it's my anxiety because I'm like acting irrational about it and I shouldn't be. So I have to talk to myself, okay, what is it that you're feeling? Why are you feeling that? Is it something that you can figure out? Is it the worst case scenario? Or is it something that's like, something you can't handle? 9 times out of 10, it's something I can totally handle. And then I ask myself, you know, what are some things you can do to help the situation? Um, and, and to help you feel better inside so that you don't like lose it because of whatever's happening. And it helps so much once I think through the possibilities of what could happen and how I could handle it. The anxiety starts to fade away. It really does. And so I won't say that it's easy. It's not easy for me, but it is possible to change. And sometimes you need a little extra help like I did. Um and I forgot my original point. Let's see. I was mostly talking about let me see. Oh, not that. That's not what I want. Um let me see if I can get back onto what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So basically, just being capable, having the ability to face your fears and anxieties. You are capable. You can face them. You might not like it. It might not feel good in the moment, but it's not going to be forever. And you have to tell yourself those things like, okay, I really don't want to have to deal with this. I really don't like dealing with this. That's okay to admit to yourself and to express your feelings, how much you don't like it. But then you have to move on. But I have to deal with this. So let me get myself through it. And then think about the ways that you can help the situation, you know? So I have grown a lot out of it. Am I 100% quote unquote cured? No, absolutely not. But I'm at a place in my life to where most things that would cause me a lot of anxiety and would throw me into a tailspin, or would really ruin my life. Well, I say my life, my day in the past no longer that no longer occurs. Most of those things no longer affect me. So get help. First step. And let's see if maybe that might be where you need to start. Because sometimes it's just getting that professional help. And therapy really does help so much. You don't think about it. You think, oh, but somebody's just talking and blah, blah, blah. Trust me, they help you so much through just working through things in your mind to help you really understand how to shift your mind into thinking in a way that's more beneficial to you. So don't knock it till you try it. So just try. You can do it, but you at least got to take the first step. Hope this helps. Have a beautiful Friday.